So what we did is he had a giveaway. Um, they sing your family song, and then you dance. They take you around the arena, and then your family has a giveaway for you. And then once you have the giveaway, then you're able to be in the arena. So you paid your way into the arena. So um, we did that when we were really young, and throughout my life, we had always danced. We just always danced. Um, I started being more active, and actually I got a lot of advice from my grandmas. We had a lot of grandmas back then, and Raymond, he's actually one of my uncles. So I had the lodge grandmas that helped me. My grandma Josetta, she always used to make Ponca hair ties for me, and they'd always give me advice. And if you're representing an organization, you have to go around and shake hands with everybody. Like when you get to a dance, you got to be, you're happy to be there because you're representing the organization they asked you, to represent them. So I represented when I first started. I was a princess for our Indian club, and it was the Okihi club. So it was here at like in high school. I think when I was like in 10th grade when I did that. And then I was the post 38 princess, and that represented our veterans in the tribe. And then I was the Ponca princess. And when I ran for Ponca princess, I believe there was 11 of us. And in order to run for Ponca princess, um, you have to be never been married. You don't have any kids. You have to
She don't want to say it, but to be a Ponca princess in the beginning, how it started up, you have to be a virgin. You can't have never slept with a man to take that position. Good, enough.
I
Emily, will you
never
repeat what he said?
never
Because
lived.
he was to the side, you couldn't hear him well.
Well, you have to be like a virgin. You have to never have been with anybody, and you have to never lived with a man, and not have any children. So you have to be a really good person and somebody that the community can look at and be proud of. So, in 97 and 98, I was Ponca Princess. And then after that, uh, kind of everyone sees me as that still in the community. I still get people asking me like, "Oh, there's our Ponca Princess," because that was a long time ago, but everyone still sees me as that. So now I have children, and I'm going through the process with them of putting them in the arena. And if you lose a close family member, you sit out for a year and you wait. Um, you go through your mourning, and then you have to pay for your way back into the arena. So my kids have been through that a couple times with their family members, but they have all paid their way into the arena. This last year, my little boy Alan, he got his way paid into the arena, and he enjoys dancing. So he's a little straight dancer. But I make all their regalia because you can't. I mean, I guess you could go out and buy everything, but a lot of it doesn't fit right. Everybody's different sizes, and um, cost wise, it's easier to make your stuff on your own. So I make all their stuff. I make their moccasins, like his aprons, his breechcloths, his leggings, his shirts. The only thing I really don't know how to make are the roaches, like their headpiece. So my daughters, they do cloth dancing. So right now I have a 13-year-old girl, and she's at the age where she's wanting to run for princess, someday. So with her, I'm going through the same thing, giving her advice of when you get to the dance, you need to go shake everybody's hand. You need to be in a good mood. You have to sit still. There's no walking around. You don't go to the dance to go walk around in circles. You sit, you pay attention, and you got to hold yourself in a really respectful position because everyone's watching you pretty much. So you represent your family, you represent your organization and your tribe. What else did you want me to talk about? Oh, you just kind of threw me in there. Okay, well, I just kind of started, so I didn't really introduce myself. Um, how we introduce ourselves, you'd say like, Ijaje Watake De Mijinge, and I'm from the Washabe clan, so I'm from the Buffalo clan. So with us, there's certain things that when we were raised that we don't touch. We don't eat buffalo meat. I know we've never eaten buffalo meat. You can't touch the skull, like the buffalo skull. And I know in the book there were some other rules about like touching the tail and like touching the bone or the tongue. You can't touch the tongue. So I learn things all the time too. I'm still learning. What else? And like today, what I'm about to work on are some ribbon skirts. I don't know if you guys wear ribbon skirts where you're from, but I work full time, but on my spare time, I always have people asking me for ribbon skirts. So I have about 4 orders I need to knock out. I might knock 2 out today. So that's about it. Hey, Gail. I see you turned your camera on. Is there
I
anything
was
else you
busy.
want to talk about?
Let's talk about
Emily, can you
Yes.
explain what the giveaway, what you meant by when you bring them into the arena, what the giveaway is?
They call it wagale. What it is that you're usually you have family that will all come and bring like baskets or shawls or blankets or even just money. Maybe they might bring like cases of little cigarette cases to give away or different things. So everyone kind of comes together and brings things, and then you would give it away to like your head staff, so like your head man, your head lady, the organization, and also like elders. If there's any elders there, it's good to give them grocery baskets, and the singers. And then the women singers usually give them little baskets with like maybe candy, um, handkerchiefs, little things that like hand lotions, just a few little items in there. So,
Wibaha.
does anybody else have any questions?
Well, we want to thank Emily, and if anybody does got any other questions for her, today we're going to talk a little bit about etiquette. Etiquette in our culture is everything, and like I told you guys, down here, not everybody's half breeds, and what I mean by half breed is it doesn't matter if you're only a 16th Ponca, but if you come from your father's line, you're considered like a full blood because you're a part of a clan. A Tonwagla or Tontwa, they a couple, 3 different ways to say clan. And Emily is Washabe Tonwagla Itai, comes from the Buffalo clan. And so Emily comes from 4 tribes, but it doesn't mean them 4 tribes don't mean nothing because she comes from a line of what they call her family name is Deomba. Her family name is Lightning. And the agents made them take that name Smith, but they're really the Ompba. They come from that lightning name, and then what they call Nikagahi Tigake, playing chief. And so that's where her clan was, and people she comes from. And so we had a little things we talked about on etiquette, on how we should conduct ourselves. One thing that Emily didn't tell you, whenever that she had her giveaway, when we have our giveaways, you don't talk for yourself. Somebody always speaks on your behalf, usually not related or not closely related. Then they're going to talk for you, and that's just our Ponca custom. We never speak for ourselves. Now, at the end, somebody might want to say it. They might say, "I thank you all," but even in the older way, people, you didn't tell them that person thanked everybody for you. And so when we have that giveaway, Wagave, there's several giveaways in the Ponca tribe, and when you have that giveaway, that particular giveaway is just a common giveaway, and so that's what we do. And when I paid my way into the arena was in 1982. My grandfather did, and it was my sister Carlita. Her Ponca name was Mitai, means new moon. And myself, I'm next, is Monchujing, a little grizzly bear, little bear. And then my sister Carla, that's on council down here, her name is uh, Miglitai. That means new moon returning. And my little sister's name is Mihusa. It's like the loud voice of a moon. And and at that time, it was only us four full-blooded siblings. And my grandfather's name was Simon Horse Chief Eagle. That's how I'm related to Grandpa Raymond and them here through his mother and them, the relationship they had. And when he paid for our way, even though he was my great grandfather, he spoke. He spoke for us. My grandfather plumed a lot of at that time. Only certain men could plume little girls. Certain men could put roaches on little boys. So my grandfather, he roached me and he plumed all my sisters and plumed them. Emily, where's the plume at so I can show them? Some of these our relatives here probably don't know what that is. And bring a roach. Bring one of them boys this roach. I want to show you. So when I say that I got roached and she got plumed, because and like I said, not everybody got the opportunity to grow up that way.
Eagle, can I
Yeah,
ask a question?
go ahead.
Um, just so I kind of understand, because I feel like I'm a little distant from the culture, can you explain what joining the arena means? The big picture of it means, or what culturally the implication is, and why you'd want to join the arena?
Okay, first of all, when we go in the arena and the dancing circle could not be without the drum, kuge or neshigaku, either name. I know them heard them by both names. And then you got the hukama. That's the singers. A lot of people say hookah down here because they don't know how to talk correct Ponca. Not saying I'm anything, but they'll like say hookahzani. In our Ponca language, there's no such word. Hookahzani, and that's just like you're thinking the singers because okay, set them here because I'm gonna finish. Real, hang on, hang on. And so anyway, uh, we have our singers and our which drum that sing all our wonga they want or wonga they want to either way said right, and that's all of our songs. And so we have to. That's why they get the biggest respect most generally whenever we have any kind of gathering as the singers will, because without them it couldn't take place. I mean, you could say that with the dancers too, but really, you could have 100,000 dancers, but if there ain't no drum, it ain't never gonna work. And so, by in Ponca, I said this to you guys before. You might not remember, but Ishagama Egina Ubasheda Ata Biatma. Them elders said they said that you have to pay for everything. That's what I just said in Ponca. You have to pay for everything. When you want something, you pay for it. When you make a mistake, you pay for it. And Emily didn't tell it earlier, but before I'm gonna get to that part. But when we get in that dancing arena, they say that drum is medicine. They call that drum monkontonga. It's big medicine. They say that people, whenever they can't walk or they can't do nothing or they're sickly, they come to the dance. Wachigache. Aye. They come to the dance. And so they come there to get healed, to feel good. They might been in a wheelchair a long time. They might stand up or they might never even got up, but that drum, it does something to us. When you hear music, sometimes you start getting where you want to move. You start want to move your hands, or you're starting to feel it in your nuche, the nuche, I call your spirit. And so you're starting to feel that. And so when these young people dance, they're not only dancing for themselves or in competitions, they're dancing for the people. And so that's what she's talking about. When you enter the arena, you enter the dancing arena, you're paying your way because it's something that you want to do. Or maybe your grandparents or your folks say, hey, it's time. It's time. We're going to pay your way in. And so when they do that, they get things together. They tell their other family members, and then people hear about it. And then they come. Like today, one of my sisters, she has a birthday in a contest. She's spending a lot of money on this, probably not a lot, but maybe easy $5,000 on the food and getting everything, or probably more than that, and paying the head singer, paying the head lady, head man, your giveaway, paying your cooks. Shigile, those are your cooks. And so she gets a lot of stuff, and then she had that contest. The first place in the men's gets 300, second place gets 200, first place gets $100, and then the women's the same way, 300, 201. That might not be a lot of money when you think about it, but right there, that's $1,200 just to pay the winners, and not counting. When you got a whole beef, what is that, Grandpa? A whole beef, what, $1,000 now? 1,200. And a whole beef, we're talking about a whole cow.
Yeah. Right.
And then you got to get all the stuff that goes to that. And then you got to have enough flour to make the bread because, sometimes you have top bread at dances. What we call that, Wamuski Blaska. And then we got the old way to say fry bread is called umasne, or some people say umasne. Now they call it Wamuski Jela, or some people call it Wamuski JG. But I only know what it's called in the old days. They called it, fry bread was called umasne. In the dictionary, they'll say the old way is umasne, but I heard it said different, so I don't know what's right. Today, you remember that dictionary was made by one man. And in our Ponca language, there's multiple ways to say multiple things. And I'm not saying it, but like I told you before, he didn't have enough time to put everything in that dictionary. He had less than 2 years to do that. And some tribes had up to 5 years to make theirs with 20, 30, 40 elders that spoke fluently. Even though we had more elders, a lot of them won't participate. A lot of them are mad that we're making a app for our Ponca children and our Ponca people in general. But back to the arena, you have to have all that stuff it takes to put on a dance or a gathering. You have all that you have to do. And and us young men, when we danced, we had to sit still. You couldn't look around. When you got people looking around or staring at people, they call that wadon basnede. That's like a bad trait. That's a bad thing to do when you're sitting there staring at somebody, or looking where you're not supposed to be looking, or speaking when you're not supposed to speak. Them old women used to say, "Claudia, Claudia." I mean, silence. And you hear that, you mainly hear it from your women folk. You got men folk there too, but it's always the woman that gets on to you unless it's real bad. And so we had to sit there and pay attention. And this right here, can you guys see it? This is a small boy's roach. And this is one of many plumes. Can you see it?
Yeah.
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 This is one of many different styles and different ways they wear it. Certain women wear them a certain way. And and then you got all kind of regalia. And like I said, right now we'll do a class on just regalia, but this is just giving you information today. And so anyway, whenever you get a young boy gets roached, or even a young man, he might not never had no relatives to help him. He might have been adopted out, but he might once he found out who he come from the Ponca people, and he returns, and then he might make a comment. I never got to dance. I never got to do none of that. And then his folks, or even people that might take pity upon him, they're gonna talk with each other, and they're gonna come that deal. But we're gonna have a giveaway. And this is what they call another thing that Emily didn't mention. We're gonna dress him. DRESS. We're gonna dress him, and they're talking about dressing him with regalia. And they do that for little girls. And a lot of times, there's poor families amongst the Ponca people. And when you see little kids out there really wasisige, they're really lively at dances. You can see they just watching, they're wishing. They're really wishing they could dance, but their family ain't got no money to pay their way in. Their family ain't got no money to dress them. And sometimes people come together like that and say, let's dress him. Let's dress her. And when you hear somebody saying they're going to dress somebody, that's another way to say they're going to pay their way into the arena. And so I could speak for the term of getting dressed, but my family did it, paying my way into the arena. And I could also, when I paid my way into the Ponca Helushka Society when I was young, and I also paid my way to be a singer with my last name. I'm the only Rod that ever paid, that I know of, that ever paid his way into the drum, but I come from singers on both sides of my family. But as that last name Rod, which is a foreign name to these people down here, even though we've been with the Ponca people for over 100 years, and what I mean by that is my great 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 grandfather was Potawatomi. But like I said, I'm almost a full blood. But it doesn't matter. Like I told you before, I still fall into that waka hebetong bliho. And so I had to pay my way into the drum. And before you pay your way into the drum, you got to know how to sing. You got to know how to drum, because if you overbeat, every time you overbeat, you have to pay for that. Lushpata. You have to pay for that. And if you say like when I'm saying, hey Doshka, we go to bed, hey Doshka, and then you second, then they say, hey Doshka, we got everybody singing then. But say I come in, they say, hey Doshka, and I say, hey Doshka, right off. I done ruined that song, and I have to pay for it. And by paying for it, I have to put money on the drum. I'm out there yet. And then and if I make too many mistakes, or anybody for that matter, but I'm using myself as an example. You see this little drumstick I didn't finish making? This is my hand drum drumstick. Okay, look, that the head singer always sits with his back to the east. He's facing west. That is the only place he'll ever sit, to the head singer. It's with his back to the east. And then his best singers will sit on his left to his right. And he might even have his other good singers all the way to him on both sides of him. But he's going to do this. Look, did you guys see what I just did? That means get the hell up and get out of here. That is the worst thing that could ever happen to a man at the drum, is that head singer. He ain't gonna say nothing. He used this drumstick to make that get up motion. That means get your chair and leave. And I pray to God that don't ever happen to me. And it never had since I was never. It never happened to me, but it could. And I can't even imagine. That's just horrible. But the Ponca aren't as strict as our relatives, the Osage. And the Osage, they took our way of singing because we gave it to them, the Wajaje, the people, not the clan. And they hold that way so vicious like a Ponca. They do that same thing today. We're not as strict on our drum as we used to be. And their drum is closed only to Osage or the Poncas that they allow in. You can't even buy your way into that. You have to be accepted into it. And a lot of singers want to go to the Osages because the Osages always had money. They were the first. They were the first multi-millionaire tribe of individuals. I'm not talking about the whole tribe. They were billionaires as a tribe, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm just pointing about these singing. We're talking about the arena. Uh, the drummers, you have to pay your way into that. But in some fraternities or some organizations, turn this fan off, Emily. I need some water. It's cold here. It's drying my throat out. And so you have to pay your way in. One time, before I had to go them 11 years, we went to Gibbs Water. That's called Ni, and that means that's a family. It's a family organization now. I'm a part of it, but I never go to act any kind of way. I go out there and sing, but I'm part of that family too. A lot of people are a descendant from them. Anyway, I messed up one time. I sung a song at that time that a lot of these young singers didn't know. Old man told me that song and sung it for me, and I learned it. There was only two of us. Excuse me. There was only two of us at that drum that knew that song at that time. I sung that song, and the guy that knew it didn't back me. Why he didn't back me, I don't understand. That song was what they call during that time we're singing we have different genre of songs. Down here we call them different set. Man, my throat's real raspy. And this particular singing is called Igazi. And some people call it Igadize. They call it two names. Why, I don't know. But they call it two names. And so them songs, them ones I sing to you guys, and that song was like, hey yo, yo, hey yo, hey yeah, hey yo, hey yo, hey yeah, hey hey yeah, yo, hey 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 hey. Shano shinga they don't baga kaga te hey yo way hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey, yeah, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, way, hi, yo, way, hey, yo, way, hey, yo, hi, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo. Say no shinga they don't bugger koga te say ha yo way hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo hey yo. That old man that taught me that song, he's dead. He's been dead for a long time now. 13 years, I guess. 14. But anyway, I sung that song, and since I didn't get second on it, that guy didn't second me. Because as soon as I go, hey yo, yo, hey yo, hey yeah, yeah, hey yo, hey yo, hey yo, hey yeah. He was supposed to second me, and he didn't second me. And the mother singers didn't know that song at that time. I heard them singing it now, but they didn't know it at that time. And so when I sung that song, I quit singing. And since I didn't have no, I sent the mothers of my children to Walmart to get something. I wanted to help somebody out. And I gave them my wallet. They had to send somebody, send one of them oolahs to give my wallet to them. And when I did, I didn't keep the money, no money for the drum. And so when I did that, when I made that mistake, all I had on me was a 14-karat gold bracelet on my right wrist. And so I didn't have nothing. They stopped and they were looking at me because I had to pay for that. All I could do was take that bracelet off and lay it on the drum. They gave me a chance to buy it back for a couple $100, even though it was worth way more than that. But my pride wouldn't let me buy it back because I didn't have my money. Because once I lay it on the drum, it stays there. It goes to that head, to everybody in that drum, and then they auction it off with each other. So if somebody came up, but my pride wouldn't let me buy it back. And so you have to be careful when you're out there. And now to our men and women that dance, our young girls and young boys, when a piece of their regalia falls off, that's their dance costume. If some of you don't know what we mean by regalia, they don't like that term, dance costume. You have to say regalia. And so anyway, when the regalia falls off, whether it's a feather or anything, and you got to pay for that. Emily, whenever a person's feather falls off, who has to pick it up? You see, whenever you see in our tribe, only somebody that's been in combat is allowed to pick that feather up. Today they use arena directors. Some of our arena directors are they're but they'll go get a veteran if there's not one. But like Emily's dad the other day, we was at that dance about 6-7 weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. She was a head woman down there in Muskogee, and someone dropped a feather. Her dad picked it up because her dad's also a combat veteran. And so anyway, he got to pick that up because not just anybody could go out there and pick it up. Somebody that's been in battle has to pick it up. Today, the military can do it, not even a police officer, but somebody that's been in the military, armed forces. And then another thing, when you got little children, a long time ago when they're little, it's crazy today because I'm talking about this. What did Brooke say earlier? What her mom was telling her, innit? Telling her how it was. You have to be quiet. You can't sit there or get left at home. And so a lot of times in the old days, maybe when Grandpa Raymond was little, a lot of times they didn't take kids to gatherings or dances like that way because of their conduct. They're not old enough to control what they say or do. But they used to say kids' place was at home. So today, when you got them little kids out there and they run out into that arena, that looks bad on your family. And also, you have to pay for that. You got to take money out there, tobacco, or a blanket or a shawl, something monetary. You have to take it to that drum and pay for that. You know, it's looked upon bad when that happens. You gotta when you take your little kids to them kind of things, watch them, make them listen. And so, and now back to the drum. I'm giving you guys a lot of etiquette. You know, some of it's I should have just went from girl dancer, uh, boy dancer to adult, and then singers and drummers, but it's still all appropriate. But when you give away, when somebody sings a family song, like Emily was talking about, when you have a family song that's it's sung, like with us, my family song is my dad's song, or his dad's song, or my mother's dad's song. They're all combat veterans, modern day warriors. Or we could use my grandpa Horse Chief Eagle song. We could use my grandpa White Eagle song. We could use my grandpa Wagasapi song or my grandpa Little Bear song. Or I could use Yellowberry. Or I could use Sindeska, Whitetail. Or Wetejinga, Little Hole or Little Rake. Or I could use Wachigaka, Jinga, Little Dance. I come from prominent families on my Ponca side. Or I could use what they call the Tonganashi Jinga, Little Standing Buffalo, or Tenugazi, Yellow Buffalo Bull. Some families only got one song to sing, whether it's their uncle's song or their grandpa's song or some distant relative. I'm blessed to have many songs to be sang. There's two Rodmen in the family that have their song. That's my grandpa Lemuel Rod, my dad's dad, and then my father have their own. And the reason I'm saying this is because they both come from the half-breed clan that have their own songs. That's not common, but they both were worthy and honored by great musicians, Ponca musicians that made them songs for them. My grandpa McKinley Horse Chief Eagle made my father's song. That was a great honor because he come from Horse Chief. That was my grandfather's little brother, the one that raised me and put me in the arena. Simon Horse Chief Eagle and McKinley were full-blooded brothers. And and that part of the arena is what we do. And then we have other ceremonies with a Helushka, scalp dance, wolf dance, soldier dance. All these different songs and genre, you got different ways to dance. Some of them genres only women dance. That a man is not allowed to dance or be in that arena unless he's singing. Or they might have an arena director, but even then, they don't have no reason for no arena director in some of them genre. And women lead that. So we have to be careful in that. And then there's some gore dance. Normally women, when I was little, I don't remember a whole lot of women being in gore dance. You know, that was given to us. The Ponca traded that. They traded the war dance or the Helushka for the gore dance with the Kawa. And when I was young, to be a gore dancer, you had to be a veteran. Now you got everybody and their mom. Everybody and their mama's husbands and sons are in there gore dancing. But when I was little, I was told you couldn't do that unless you was a veteran. My dad and grandfathers all sitting lined up, you know, dancing. It's not our kind of dance. It's a adopted dance, but it was bought. We bought and traded for it, so it's ours now. And now a lot of women are doing that more than I've seen when I was growing up in the gore dance. And I don't know how to say that in Ponca. I mean, I know how to say gourd. You would just say peje, wachigache. I guess that's how you say it. Would you say it like that, Grandpa? Peje, it's a gourd. And wachigache, or do you know?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Uncle Wilkie or Uncle Doug. I don't gourd dance myself. Sure.
Uh, and
Eagle.
so, yeah.
Well, well, we've got to stop. Chris and I had a curious question.
Go ahead.
And again, it's just the ignorance of the culture. What was wrong with you singing that song? Was it because because you were singing something other people didn't know, or?
Okay, let me tell you. My confidence fled from me when my brother didn't back me up in that song. Because I sang a song I knew they didn't know. And see, my arrogance also became my downfall. And so when my brother didn't, William Dogma, bro, I'm putting you out there. When William Dogma, he's a Walker Hebe too. His name's Beshela. Ponca Jaji Beshela. That's his Ponca name. It's untranslatable. Like some of our names are, men and women. When he didn't second me, my confidence went from nothing. And I stopped on my own. I could have kept singing until they caught it. But by, like I said, my arrogance, being ignorant, acting like I was something, I got put in my place. And the drum and everything that I'm talking about, these different ways, these different ceremonies, they'll put you and humble you. They also take care of themselves that you can't play with them, that things could happen to you. Bad things could happen to you, your loved ones. They say these ways take care of themselves. And that drum took care of me by thinking I was something. And that's what happened.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah. And so in the different genre, we got like our Igazi songs today. Families that don't have family songs are allowed to use them songs, like any of them. No matter who made them, they're allowed to use them. And some people in modern times will call them giveaway songs. That's what they call them today. And so it doesn't matter if you didn't come from no notable warriors or people or anyone notable. The Ponca still have songs. And listen, all you Ponca up north, every one of you have a right to them songs. All you Poncas that don't, even down here that don't have the Poncas from the north or the south, if you don't have a family song, there are songs that are made for you to use. And that one I sang is one of them. It could be given. So like say, Robin, you wanted to pay your way in, all you have to do is say, I need a giveaway song, the Igazi song. Igazi. Or some people Igazi di. Igazi di. Grandpa, what's another way they say it? They said another way. Igadizi?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah,
But,
they said. They said. Go ahead, Grandpa.
but let me say this: the Pee Wee Clark, you can anybody can use Pee Wee Clark's song. He gave it to the people, so I put it on the drum. So they always remember, if you're out there and you don't have a family song, you can always use Pee Wee Clark's song. So
Grandpa, are you talking about this one? They don't go to me, oh, hey, oh, they don't go to me, oh, hey, oh, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey. Walk on
yeah,
the day, though. Okay, is that one?
yeah, that's that. That's Pee Wee Clark's song.
And then he got that other one. They say that they go together. That one that says, "Mojo de lo gate wai be hey, walk on the wai be. Mojo de lo wai be, walk on the ke wai be hey." Hey, 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 hey.
Yeah, that's it. You can use most of them use that first one, but you can ask for that.
Yeah, they call them sister songs.
Yeah, you can use either one of them. I got that on recording where he said you can use that song, especially that first one. Sean.
Oh, They're gonna Sean sleep with the air conditioner and ceiling fan on. That's another way to use that word, Sean. Sean, sleep with that air conditioner and ceiling fan on. Jack my throat up. So, and like I was telling you, and see, I didn't even know that because, like I said, Pee Wee Clark died a long time ago when I was real young. Not little, but I was young. My drinking days, so I didn't remember that. But see, he got a recording of that. And so that's good to know that either of them songs I just sang, that one I sang it one time through, the second one, the first time, yeah, I didn't sing it that way. He stopped me and said that was the one. So you guys could also use them as Ponca. There's no such thing as saying that we're just going to use it here and you guys can't use it. That's for Ponca, and you're Ponca.
There you go.
And so also this last year, and I hope you guys can make it on June. Let me look at my calendar. Oh, I'm sorry, Robin. I just now saw this deal. Okay, listen. Remember when you give away in Ponca, the most common giveaways, Wagale. And then when you're giving away, only thing she said was she was telling you like how people come together and you give blankets and all this other stuff. When you give away, a lot of times you give away to elders, you give away to uh, widows, to people they're in mourning. You honor somebody. Sometimes they give away horses. It's been a long time since they've done that. Um, so anyway, and then also in modern times, we throw candy all over the arena for them little kids to run out and come grab and them giveaways. But it's appropriate because you're trying to make people happy. You're honoring people. And you see people that are pitiful. Some people might not look you in the face. They might need something, but they're not going to look at you. They're not going to look at you with begging eyes, even no matter how bad they need it. And you look around sometime and you go take them something or put money in their hand. The only way you give money, you don't give it to them in an envelope. I don't care if you got $1,000 or you're giving $20 or $1 away. You put it in your hand when you're giving it directly to them. Now, if they're dancing in the arena, this is what me and Emily both didn't say, is when they're dancing, like when someone's honored, now they throw it at their feet. You got anything you want to elaborate on that, Emily? Huh? What? Emily's got a lot to say, but she's sewing. And and it's also in our Ponca tribe, we have different patterns. See, in the old days, you could tell what tribe, even around here, what regalia you had on, we knew what tribe you came from. Now people don't even care about that no more. They'll copy a Ponca pattern, or hell, you even have a Ponca copy some other tribe's pattern too, and they'll wear it. And that's bad. I don't like that. I'm not saying that change ain't good, but that's what designates us as distinct people. Is the way we speak and the way we carry ourselves at these gatherings that we know, and the way our hair is worn. We'll know. Polkas men have two braids coming down like this way, two braids, and then those are called gasonde. These right here, two braids. You got one braid on top of your head, a man, and that braid is called osku. And that's the only way a man's supposed to wear it. Tell him, Grandpa.
Yeah, I see them out at the drum. They have two braids. Mostly it's well, I better not name names, but they say they're wearing their hair wrong. They're wearing their hair like women because he don't have his oscue on. And that's true. I try to tell them, they just look at me like, "What's that?" And they don't ask, "What is that?" So I tell them, you're missing your oscu. Your hair is wrong." And some of them get offended. So I stopped telling them that. I said, maybe somebody who they know better than me, they'll get it right. But that's true. There's another thing when you was talking about that roach. When you see a wearing that roach, and then they'll have a feather sticking, or not a stick through it with little feathers on the end of it. Back in the day, that meant he was a real good hunter. And that's why that thing, when it sticks out, that feather, some of them have them coming out forward too. But most of the time they're supposed to go at right angles. That signifies he's a good hunter. But people don't know that today, why they wear that stick through their roach. It's because they're a good hunter. Yeah, Sheena.
Where did you go?
He probably lost connection.
We've been
There's
abandoned.
there's other back when you there's a lot of things when like with Ponca powwow, you're at the South Arena. You you can't have like they just get through singing, and it's not the arena's not open. But you see sometimes them udas their kids will walk out there while they're and while they're talking. And I've seen that happen. And so that Uyaze woman has to get up, go to the announcer, have him tell him why she's paying, what she's paying for. And then after he says she's got money on the drum because her child has come out into the arena, and she goes and puts money on the drum, and then she could sit back down. That's a mistake because you can't go out in that ring, and you could have to pay for it, even if the even if you're one of your kids, your grandkids, or your auntie's kids, they go out in that arena and then turn around and run back out. Yep, I've done that before. I got up and walked up there and told the announcer, you have to talk for me. I want to put 5 on the drum because my grandson ran out there and turned around and went back out. I want to pay for that. And I've done that for, sometimes I do that for people I don't even know, because to me, that South Arena, when they're having that dance all afternoon, you have to follow tradition. When that's that child made a mistake, so I'm pay for it. And I've done that lots of times. There's a lot of things people don't know about the South Arena. Like when you're like if the Heloshka's dancing out there, I'll see watch the people. And if the Heloshka set you in that circle, you're oogling. That's your oogling. That you can't leave that. You have to go to the end and tell one of the whip men. Sometimes they have one on each side, one for the north side and one for the south side. If you need to go out of that arena, you have to go over there and ask that whip man permission to leave the arena. And then when you come back, you have to tell that whip man you're back, and he's got to walk you back to your seat. And if you don't, you have to pay. Usually, your family member like me. If I know they're Wahehebe, then I go out there and I have the speaker to talk for me, and then I go pay for that because nobody else has went out there to do that for him. That's tradition, and you see that when you're around the Ponca drum. That's things that you have to know. I remember listening to my grandpa when I was 4 or 5 years old. Went there. I seen them give away horses and wagons because their kid ran out across that arena while they were singing, and while they were, between songs. And you can't do that. I've seen them give away a horse and wagon and walk home because their little boy or little girl messed up and ran across that arena. But it's still around. When I go to dances, I watch for things like that. If I see a mistake and nobody acknowledges it, then I go up there and I give them something to put on the drum. And people know me by that because you're not supposed to be disrespecting that arena and the drum, especially the drum. I've been to dances where they're tail dancing, and I've seen them kick and turn their back before at the wrong time. And I could make myself go up there and pay for that because they're not supposed to turn their back on the drum while it's still beating. They actually stopped too soon. The song wasn't over with, and he stopped too soon, turned his back to the drum. I go put $5 on that drum because that's a bad mistake, and it has to be paid for. Otherwise, they won't sing the next song. So I do things like that. I'm aware of my culture, and people know me. But that's what happens when you make mistakes down there. But everybody gets happy. Everybody's always happy. Hey, speaking of being that drum it's a healing thing. Eagle was talking about a while ago at that Hidoshka dance. Manegi Jinga, he was out there he's got a bad leg, bad knee. But after those songs started playing and going on, and they was singing this one song that was pretty fast, but man, that beat and the sound of that drum and everybody dancing got him going, and he actually danced. He was instead of dancing in one place because his knee hurt him, he got the drum affected him, and he actually danced towards the drum fast. Kudaga. Everybody was just amazed at that. He was awesome to see. Everybody just stood up and clapped for him, and they recognized him. He was all his face was just red. They came over there, and he said, "I felt so good, and that drum and all these dancers." He said, "I couldn't help it. I just started going." And it was beautiful. My Nagi. That's a good one, man. But that was awesome to see. I hope to see him. I pray for him every day that he's gonna dance Ponca Powwow. And the South Arena, he'll dance. I believe in my heart that he will be there. Because he's a good one. He's our Wajepa. Yeah. When you guys gotta all try to come to Ponca Powwow. But what happened to Eagle? Robert lost his
know.
phone. Mm.
I was there last year. I just didn't see you. I'm
Grandpa, you
trying to
was
come
talking
up
so
for
good, so I
June.
was giving you your time to shine. Dang.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, I thought she was gone, done something else. I was just trying to fill in time. I'm running out
No,
of
no,
words.
no. So, but you know what he said? You see, all of us down here, we were blessed to be immersed and just living this way down here. That's the only way we know down here. And and it comes natural to us, and that's how it's going to come to you guys, Robin, to Garrett, Diane, Debbie, Rob, Barbara's been around it, Gail's been around it, Grandpa's been around it, and that's just how it is. And let me tell you something, and don't let it be foreign to you. You guys are Ponca. Don't ever forget that. It ain't foreign to you. It's in your DNA. It's in your blood. And Emily's getting ready to start teaching classes on skirts and stuff. I don't know if you guys are able to buy, but hell, they got damn sewing machines for what? What's the cheapest one they got at Walmart? Like 60, $70? From $70 to $100, you can get a cheap sewing deal at Walmart. And
They do. They got them
point is,
cheap and they're decent.
yeah.
I
And what I'm
bought one.
saying is, you guys can start learning to make your own skirts because down here, all the women got skirts. And as Ponca women, it's good for you guys to have them. You know,
I want to learn how to
and don't.
applicate.
And like Emily was saying, she told you guys, and it ain't that Emily ain't got no money to buy them from people, but why would she want to when she can make them herself? And also, she can make them to fit her children or herself. And and right now, she's making skirts for people. They're paying her to make them, and even all the way, no matter where you guys live at, you get free time. We can size people up, and you can make these skirts. That's all you gotta do, make them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money to be made. Emily, on an average plain FloJo skirt, how long would it take to make it? Yeah, it take you
She
three
may make
hours, and
hers
how
in
much?
a day.
Oh, she makes
She's
them in
so
3 hours.
good.
And so
She could sell
how
hers
much?
to sharps. She
All
could sell
white
hers
women
to
make.
sharps. She's
All white
good.
women listen. Everything you get at Sharps, there's someone they taught. Indian women, Ponca women have taught white women, and now Sharps only sells and only buys from the white woman. She won't even buy from the Indian no more.
No way.
For real. They make
Oh
all the shawls,
man.
everything.
That burst my bubble. Shoot. I don't
We
like that.
made the Ponca people, the Oto people, the Osage people, the Kaw people, the Tonquah people, Pawnee people. We made that place what it is today by being lazy. By being lazy. And don't get me wrong, Mary's a good
Man,
friend of
that's a
mine. She's been my
shame.
friend for over 20 something, 30, damn near 30 years. Mary's been my friend.
That's
And the one
a
she
shame
got it
though.
from, she bought it from Leon. Leon died. Leon was a good man.
Yeah.
He was my good friend, and he died, and she bought it from his family. And
I
now
hate that
that's a
so
$1 million
bad.
place now.
I hate that.
Yeah,
Wow. Thanks for telling
it's
me
okay
though.
though.
Shoot. It is what it is, right?
Yeah, these little 3 hour skirts sell for $100, and to get them, depending on the type of yard of material you buy, you could get that stuff for $4 a yard, or you could get some stuff like some of the stuff I bought Emily on that new stuff she get there. Emily, where's your new dress at? Let me that new blouse you got. Let me show them that material I bought. How much did I pay for that material? $27 a yard, $27 a yard.
That's
And I
some
don't know
good
if you
stuff
guys
right there.
I don't know if you guys know what we're
That's
talking
some
about
good
when it
stuff.
comes to cloth and material. Some of that crap's crazy high. And then you could get
Rug
it
cloth
dirt
is
cheap.
high.
You can get it dirt cheap. You know, it
You
just
can
depends
buy
on what you want to do.
quilting cotton. Like to
There ain't
start
nothing
out, you
wrong
can
with
buy quilting cotton for cheap on
yeah.
sale.
That how much is it down there, Connie?
You can buy quilting cotton just cheap, like a couple of
How much
dollars a
for a
yard if
yard?
you want.
That's
Couple
cheaper than
dollars,
here.
like you said. Yeah. That's just for the cheap getting
Look,
started, learning to sew
did you
stuff.
see it?
See how gorgeous oh my gosh, it's so good. That's
Yeah, we can see
beautiful,
it.
honey.
It's a little reflective, but
Oh, turn that little light on. They can't see it. Open that door. We clear that door. All you can see is this big light on. Turn that away. Can you see it now?
Yeah, it looks really good.
yeah, it does.
Have my skirt underneath it on the side. Oh yeah, I think I did show them my skirt before.
Oh yeah, it looks really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm gonna iron it before I wear it again.
He's gonna wear that tonight. One of my sisters is having a dance tonight. We're gonna go to support at supper time. And she makes all her own beadwork, everything. She does everything herself. Now she got some legging, or what do you call them, moccasins and big long ones, leggings. Now those cost like $1,000 for a pair, up to 1,200 a pair. Her uncle made hers for her though, and so that's what we got going on. You guys could all spend time on learning, and some of you, Deb, have you been dancing up that way?
No, I am not.
But I don't know if you women and men folk would be interested in Emily making a class. It'd probably have to be a 2-part class or something on how to make skirts.
I think the Northern Ponca tribe is having something like that. I don't know what location though.
Yeah, and Sister Angie's supposed to be making some kind of camp dresses up there. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I want to go so bad.
I would really like that too. I like sewing, so that would be
Me
really
too.
good.
It would be interesting. It would be
Yeah.
nice to have it online. The in-person stuff is obviously hard for those of us that are a little bit more southernly located.
Yeah, right. I heard you, Robin.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it.
I heard they were
Show it to you.
having some classes sometime in the
Look
cultural
at
center
she
for
got
young
she
girls.
That's
got
beautiful.
look.
That's beautiful,
That
Emily.
pass, she's been doing that in about 30 minutes.
She's good, man.
It's
She's
really
good.
good.
Do you use actual ribbons or is that strip of other fabric that you're using? You're using remnants.
This time I'm using, I'm not using no iron-on stuff. I'm just sewing the ribbon straight on. Just holding it with needles and sewing them straight on. The sewing machine works better when you don't use the iron-on stuff. So
A
you
lot
just
of
gotta
people
hold it
kind of
still.
cheat with
Right.
the
So it's not,
iron-on
so you're
stuff.
not having to like strip other material and using like,
Oh, she said,
another piece of fabric. You use ribbon just,
No,
okay.
yeah, I just use the spools of ribbon. I got a bunch of them. These are the ones I'm using for this one.
That's really
Okay.
cool.
That is
Mhm.
cool.
Do you do ribbon shirts for the guys?
Yeah, I can. I usually just make them for my sons right now.
I've been waiting 2 years, so don't hold your breath on that one. You got any of them little shoulder sleeveless ones you got made or full one?
Like little Jordans.
Yeah, little Georges or Allen's.
Are there any rules to wearing like a ribbon shirt or a ribbon skirt?
For the ribbon shirt, no, but a ribbon now the skirt I'd have to ask Emily because some of that stuff I don't know the woman's. I know a lot of it, but not all of it. Emily, she wants to know: is there any rules to wearing a ribbon skirt or a shirt? Then what? She just said that whenever you do it, there's really not one, but you explain it to them. I can explain it to them. You got to talk to her like right into that. This is like right here.
Okay, if you wear a ribbon skirt, your ribbons that are hanging, they go out to the side. Like you're just gonna make sure your ribbon skirt's straight. Is that what you mean?
Well, she's like a certain way that you can't, right? You can't
No?
Did you mean the style, Debbie, or did you mean that some people could wear a ribbon skirt and who couldn't wear a ribbon skirt?
That's kind of
No.
what I was
Oh,
wondering
now everybody's wearing them now.
because I kind of
Pretty
wanted to
much
get
every-
maybe like a ribbon shirt for my son, and I didn't know if there was anything like if I could just buy one and give one to him. Is that
Or you
something?
should or should not do, like if they shouldn't wear it at a certain time or something.
You know, usually people wear them like on special occasions. Um, the one thing that we don't buy from Sharps is because they make them really skinny around the wrists and around the neck area. So my sons haven't ever been able to fit those. So that's why I have to make their own things. But you can buy them places. They just come in different styles sometimes. Choctaws have collars on theirs. We don't have collars on ours. So
So like with women, it's not because I'm older and married, I still can wear a ribbon skirt. It wouldn't matter that
Yeah.
part of it. There's not any.
No.
Okay.
no, you'd be good. Oh, let me get Alan's bag.
She's gonna go get you a couple she made, so she could show you.
This is Alan's bag. There you
Go.
go. Like here's one that for my son. It was his brother's. So his brother is 15 now. So it just got handed down to him.
What about that sleeveless one you made?
I'm not sure where this is. This one.
You got any big ones that George is wearing now?
Yeah, they're packed. Yeah, stuff on. This ribbon shirt, it's just a basic one. It's a short sleeve and it's got ribbons like in the front and in the back. This would be like one that they wear at shinny. So he would wear this as a shinny shirt when they play. Do they know what that is?
No.
No.
I don't, but everybody else might, but it doesn't mean
No.
anything.
Okay, Shinny is a game that Poncas play. It's called Tabegasi. Tabegasi. Okay, that's like our New Year's for the Native American, the Ponca people is always around springtime. Nowadays we call it April. That's our New Year don't begin in January. That's an American thing, but ours is in April. And show them that one. That was pretty.
I have this one that I made for my son, I think when he was like 10. maybe 10 or 12.
He's humongous. He's 15 and like 6'5".
That's
Yeah,
that's
I was
beautiful.
I put these designs on the sleeve to match his outfit that year. This one was one of my favorite ones. I like making the ribbons like this.
It's beautiful, Emily.
Thank you.
And so a lot of times the
It looks
men, I
good
used to
off
wear them
center.
too like that way. A lot of times a man will wear a short sleeve one like that or a no sleeve ribbon shirt. That's when I was younger. That's how I used to wear them. My Aunt Casey uh, would make them for her son, and I used to take his hand-me-downs, or I say, bro, I like that one. And Ponca Custom, you gotta be careful when you you got nice stuff because you gotta be careful because if someone tells you, hey, I like that, and say, okay, and you might try to avoid them, and they say, hey, I said I like that. You know, by our custom, a lot of times you gotta give that to them. Gail, your grandpa got anything you want to say about that?
Is there a level of refusal? And I bring that up because that's kind of a tradition in Japan. I was trying to be nice and I commented on something somebody had that I was visiting there. And it was an obi, it was a wrap for a kimono. And I was just commenting on how beautiful it was. And they basically gave it to me. And I'm like, no, it's okay. That was not what I meant. And I had to like refuse them 3 times. And if you refuse them by the third time and they're still giving it to you, you got to accept it because then you're going to insult them. So
Yeah, because
and
you're
no,
disrespected. It's kind of the same way down here, but usually it's not that
Yeah.
way around. Go ahead, Gil.
Hey, Gail, I like your
I was
sweatshirt.
I was just saying what you just said. You gotta be careful.
I like your shirt, Gail.
Somebody says they like something you gotta give it up. Dang. Sorry about the mic, guys.
You guys are too close to each other.
I know.
But yeah, and that's part of our custom too. So when somebody tells you they like something, you know, when they first say it to you, you can say, "You want it, brother?" And then if they, you know, because to me that's the best way to get off with it. You want it, brother? And then most generally they're gonna say, "No, but that's when to tell you I liked it," and then you're okay with that. But if they ask you, and sometimes people, if you kind of seem reluctant to give it away, then they really want it. So it's better, it's better to that first goal. You want it, brother? And you kind of say it real stern, but kind of like pitiful. Hey, China, you want it, brother? Like I don't really want to give it to you, but you want. Okay, so another custom we have is when you're talking to Ponkas, don't look each other in the eye. When I was real young, my great grandfather taught me that, and I used to ask my grandma, and she said it's not polite for us to just stare at each other. You know, a lot of times when people stare at each other, it's because it's standoffish, or they're gonna fight or kill each other. It's combative, and so and it's also real disrespectful. Someone's just like I'm looking at Grandpa right now, like, and I'm not blinking. I'm just looking at Grandpa like, well, don't be snitty. That's considered rude and disrespectful. Really disrespectful. Hey, let me put this up. I feel like I'm gonna knock it off. Put this stuff up. This plume and this roach, or just put it where I can. I'm clumsy. Don't knock. Well, I can't knock it off. Thank you. And so, hmm, think that one's it. Yeah.
I have another question that's kind of relating back to when Emily was talking.
Thanks, so.
Um, She made a comment about not being able to eat buffalo, and I was just wondering why.
Did you hear what she said?
Yeah. It's because I'm Buffalo fan.
Okay.
Anyway, in her clan, the one thing for sure she can't eat is a buffalo tongue or eat the tail. And she can't touch its head, no matter if it's a male, female, or calf. According to some of our elders, they'll say that you could eat that, but just not you can't eat the tongue, the tail, the heart, and I think the liver. That's what I was told when I was young. Grandpa, have you heard anything else? Can't hear you.
No, just that's kind of makes you wonder how that clan ate during the winter, hasn't it?
No, they said that they could eat the buffalo meat. They just couldn't eat certain parts, like you couldn't eat the tongue, the tail, the liver, and the heart. But see, in modern day Ponca, her dad told her they couldn't eat any of it. But I wasn't told that as a
Yeah,
child, though.
that's
I
where
know
they're
for damn
wrong.
sure
I've
she
heard
couldn't
that too.
because it is wrong to say they couldn't because you're right. You're exactly right because there's no way in hell they lasted them old winters up north when we had blizzards without that because they said sometimes our teepees would be drifting in up there. And then when we had
Then,
our earth lodges, they kept our horses in the front of it. So they didn't
yeah,
even go outside because they couldn't go outside.
uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yep, that's true.
So is it if you belong to that tribe, you can't eat that specific things like meat or something? Like if you belong to the snake tribe or something, you couldn't eat snake?
Well, okay, in the Ponca tribe, we got the Wajaje clan. They said that, man, I heard two different things. I don't know which true, but they said Wajaje, that term was lost, but they said it had reference to an ancient, gigantic snake skin. Or some people say it's an old, ancient, big snake. So I don't know what's the truth on that to hear that. I mean, I could tell you what it means, or you know what they say.
Yeah, I heard stuff like that too before.
So Wajaje, Tigan. I mean, my grandpa, he said the Wajajes too. They can't climb through windows. It's the same as you can't go under a teepee after it's been
That's
set
right.
up. You have to go in through the door. If you go under the tent, a snake will follow you in there. That carried on into modern times where if you go in your house through the window, the snake will follow you into that window. So the Wajajes don't go crawling through windows. They don't eat snakes. That's what my grandma said.
That's exactly true. And then also, whenever something happened, or it was the Osage clan. That's what we translate Wajaje to in English terms. Um, they they were the first person to go track or find a missing person, or to hunt down an enemy or food. They said they were expert trackers. If you guys have any questions, it'd be all right.
Mhm.
We gave out a lot of
And
information.
uh, some there's also when the Huluga was set up, everybody went in their clan order of camping in that circle. The Nikapashna and the Hisada were at the entrance. The Hisada watched who left. The Nikapashna, if the sun was getting ready to go down and you weren't back, then the Nikapashna, they went out to get you and bring you back before it got dark. Bahonga Day, that happened.
Yeah. So a lot of what we got going on today is still the same as it was yesterday in the story, but it is not lived that way no more because of modern society. We still hear the stories. You guys understand what I mean? That they're told the way they're told. They're just not lived that way.
Yeah.
But one of these
You guys,
days,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
Earlier you talked about when you give money, you do it by, shaking a person's hand and giving them the money that way. But when you talked about putting it on the drum, you just put it on the drum or you shake the hand of one of
Yeah.
the
Oh, I didn't.
singers?
Yes, I'm glad I didn't get to go back to that. You're correct. Okay, listen. On any okay, like say, Grandpa sung your family song. You put that money directly in his hand. Once you put that money on the drum, that means every singer there gets a piece of it. So whenever somebody does something that's notable and you want to honor just them that's at the drum, there might be 6, 7 drums with 100 singers around it. Whenever them singers, I don't care if there's 100 of them or whatever, but if that one singer sung your song, you don't give to the whole drum, you give to him. And then if you wanted, it feels like it's on your heart that you want to just give to the drum, you go to if there's more than one drum, you go to where the head singer's at and you put it there. You never put it on the other drums. You put it only on the head singer's drum, wherever he's sitting. I don't care if he owns it or not, but where he's sitting is where it goes. The head singer.
And how do you know
He's the,
who's the head singer? Is it obvious?
yeah. He's the one
He's
that's
the
going to lead.
first one. He's the one that starts the song, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it like that. Well, I apologize. I forget you guys don't know. I didn't mean to be like that. Like, uh, the head singer is the one that's in the very beginning. He leads the song. Like at Hey Loska, he'll be the one. He'll be the one unless he points at somebody. The same way he did that with that drumstick. The same way where he did this to get up and get out of here. He might go. And listen, if you're at the drum, you already know what you're supposed to do. If he pointed, say like all of a sudden he pointed at me. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. Yo, yo, hey, yo, hey. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. Hey, haska, da, ma, be. Yo, yo, hey, yo, hey. Yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey. Automatically, you know what you're doing, or you shouldn't be sitting out there in the first place. Because if they call on you, if he didn't ask you, he pointed at you to sing, to start it off. Even if it's the very first song, he has that right and that authority. So with his drumstick or his lips, he's gonna that's pure Ponca. With that drumstick or them lips, he's telling who to go. For real. Show us, Gail. Grandpa, show us with them lips how to go.
What? What are you talking about? Wait a minute.
You know,
He's
like
talking
how
about
people go ahead, Gail, tell her.
he's talking about whenever you pointing at something.
With your lips. God, these guys are killing me. Yeah, but for real, that's how we do it. You see them. Even women do that at modern. See, in the old days, women didn't do that. Now women are go. I think women are better than men at it, though. For real. I'm like, but anyway,
We got
Sister
selfie
Barbara.
experience, selfies.
So back to what Sister Barbara said. If you're paying attention and you've never been to a dance before or any kind of ceremony, you're going to know off the bat who is leading and running it. And most generally, the one running it, he will always be the one giving orders or starting songs. And no other singer can start a song unless he gives permission. He'll do it once he's done singing, he'll do this. And that means everybody to the left, you could go in a row, it starts going. He might go like this way and lift up four. You first four, go ahead. And if them first four men go, then it's a break or he might start singing again. Depends on what he wants to do with it. And so that answers it. So if you guys got any questions, ask them. We still got a lot of time left.
Is there like when you do that, do people talk and there's a song set, or if he points at you, you just sing your family song or what's on your heart, or is there structure for that?
There's structure. You can't never sing your family song unless it's called upon. And then most generally, you will never ever sing your own family song. Not saying you won't know how to sing it, but you won't never sing it because that's always, it's just like when you're having a giveaway or you got a death in the family, or if you got some kind of, we're in some kind of gathering where there's a lot of people there, by Ponca custom, you don't ever speak for yourself no matter what. When you see people that do that, that's just because they don't know what to do. Even down here, we got people don't know what to do. You got people down here, women that say that, oh, they got three Ponca names as they were growing up. That's a damn lie. A woman only gets one name.
Yeah.
And I had a woman tell me that one time. I'm not going to say, but if she hears it, she'll know who I'm talking about. Yeah, she told me she had three Ponca names as she got older, and this is her last Ponca name. No woman ever gets that done, ever.
Oh, ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Did you hear Grandpa? Tell him, Grandpa.
Yeah. Woman only gets one name from birth to death. That's your only name. That's the only thing you'll be called. And another thing about when they're singing, there's a progression in drumming and in the ceremony and the dances that you have to figure out where you're at in that procession. Like, for instance, you sing fast songs towards the end, medium songs in the middle, and round dance songs at the beginning. And you can't just start singing fast songs, right after your round dance. Then you go into those medium songs that are slow. But if you've been to enough powwows, you'll know it starts out slow and then it ends quickly. So those drummers, usually they know what songs to sing during that progression. That's what I was wanting to tell you about what kind of songs they sing. Yeah, sure.
And that's true.
Hey, guys,
That's true what
funny
he's talking about. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was just
No,
gonna
go ahead.
ask if you could explain the honor beats. You know what I mean?
Tell me if you guys can hear this drum. I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to use the drum.
I can't.
It's got to be this program. Well, see if you can watch it then. I'll put it up so you can watch it. Could you see it?
Yeah.
In the very beginning, them honor beats, as they progress, this is how they start off. and it goes back. It'll do that one more time, but on that third time, the honor beat will be like this way. And then the last honor beat will go back to this. Then it'll go like this way. Then it's over. The song's over. The way they carry the beat on that drum, you'll understand when the song's about over. Unless they're doing trick songs or contest songs, it's different because the whole thing they're trying to do is get you to stop before you're supposed to stop. And that's
Like during
contest
the
and
honor
some.
beat, the dancers they really pound into it, right? During the honor beat,
As
the
the drum
dancers
beat
dance
gets,
harder.
as it picks up harder and faster, they pick up then.
Yeah. Okay,
Emily,
thanks.
whenever the honor beats happen, what do you do normally? Like whenever a woman's dancing in her cloth dance, whenever she hears the honor beats, she starts bending her knees lower and she's looking at the ground like she's looking for a penny. And she got her shawl and it's going. Do it 4 times. If you guys want to see a Ponca dance tonight after 5 o'clock, maybe 6 your guys this time, I'll put it. I'll ask my sister if it. You think she'll let me post it? It's just a birthday one. Okay, it's just a birthday dance. She'll let me post it. I mean, I'll put it on live on Facebook, or
That would
I
be
could put
cool.
it on live, or I could put it on life size and record it.
Record it. Why if they don't mind, ask around.
I'm
If
gonna
they
ask
don't
her. I
mind,
just gotta
why
ask
not?
her. I gotta ask nobody. I
Yeah.
gotta ask
If
her and her
Yeah, that's
husband.
what I mean.
if you
Because
put it
it's her
on
birthday.
Facebook, everybody can get to it probably sooner if we can't watch it right at 6. But they look like they're posting the
Oh,
stuff on
that's a good
Lifestyle.
point.
So
That's a good
either way.
point. Good point, Robin. Yeah, do it that way then. More people.
Okay, how many?
Get
How
more
many do we
people.
got? How many new classes do we got posted now on life size?
Barbara, didn't you say there were like 68? I didn't count them all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw 68 when I went on a few days ago.
Okay, well that's not all of them. So they at least they got a lot of them caught up though, but that's not all of them.
And some of them I noticed, like a class would be recorded for 45 minutes, then you would stop recording and then you would record the next part of the class. So that's counted as 2 classes instead of just the one.
Yeah,
It's
there's
okay.
73 up now.
Whoa.
Because I think that whenever we're on our 10-minute break, I don't think we need to. I think we need to stop recording because they're gonna go for 10 minutes with just nothing. Gail, you Mike, hit your mic, Gail.
The spaceship landed.
Yeah, just taking us out. So yeah,
That was like the shower scene in what's that scary movie
Twilight.
from way back?
It was
When they
called
do the
Psycho.
Twilight.
shower scene.
Psycho.
Yeah, they just posted the class from the 19th where you were in the restaurant.
Okay, now I've got to go see that one because I think I missed it.
What was it?
It was the class from the 19th when you were started in the restaurant and then went out.
It was when he was ordering Taco Bell.
I think it was the
What
fried
was
chicken.
it?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. That was the good stuff.
Yeah, he couldn't finish it because he was making himself sick.
I
Hey,
know it.
Diane, I like your
Ah,
t-shirt.
Does it still sound like Michael Myers when you guys hear me now?
No, because you're further away from Grandpa now.
I left my earpiece in the front room.
Much better.
That's why I started going on.
Yeah, I can hear you good, loud and clear now. Does anybody else got any questions about what we talked about today?
You said Wajaje is the Osage clan. What's Wajepa? Grandpa referred to that before.
Well, Jeepa, that's a camp crier.
Camp
Oh, okay.
Crier. Yeah,
Thank you.
ours is Nagy Shinga, Orlando Williams.
He's the last
He's,
Ponca camp crier alive.
yeah,
Grandpa Caesar.
yeah.
That's Grandpa Caesar, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Grandpa Caesar. It was pretty cool what Dad was talking about earlier. Whenever he's been Wakega, and to see him out there at that Haloshka dance like that, and to watch that
Did
the medicine from that drum move him, it was beautiful.
did he cry out in there?
Yeah, it was, man. You could feel it. It felt like everybody, all the old folks, everybody was there, and it was like it was it was pretty powerful. Was You could feel that medicine from that drum coming for to the people, and it moved him, and it was amazing to see.
Yeah. Some kind of pop-up just came on. Do you guys understand what a camp crier is?
Tells you the news.
Oh, okay.
Is he the one that tells you when to wake up or when to show up or when to be somewhere?
Yeah,
When?
yeah. He's the one that wakes the tribe up, and like how you said,
How do you say what?
and he goes through, and whenever he gets up early and hollers, and tells the tribe it's time to get up and start moving and get stuff done.
Yeah. Look, I only know that word Wajepa. There's another word they say. I don't know. I ain't never heard it in my lifetime, but there's another name they use. And then a crier, camp crier. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wanted
Hell,
to.
it don't even got it in here, camp crier. Yeah.
We had a lot of Ponkas graduate yesterday and last night. It was pretty cool to
No,
watch.
beautiful.
There's a whole bunch of little nephews and nieces up there walking across that stage. It was pretty awesome to watch.
Wow, it's graduation already, right?
Yeah.
So soon.
I got five
I think I
five
saw one on
adult children.
Facebook.
Oh, yesterday. Whoa.
Oh,
I
what
got
if you're eighth grader? Eagle, you're eighth grader, right?
yeah, but I got five adult
Congratulations.
children. Out of five adult children, I got three that graduated and one got a GD and one working on it. And one going to college. That's a pretty high
Congratulations,
percentage.
man.
A lot of people got a bunch of kids and they ain't none of them graduated.
That's a good deal. That's very good.
I'm thankful.
Makes you
I'm trying to look for that word. So you guys get your dictionaries out real quick. Wajepa. Wajepa. I mean, um, that's the only way I ever heard of camp crab, but somebody said there's another way they say it in Ponca. I don't know it though.
I couldn't find Wajepa in the Ponca dictionary.
I never heard of it called any other thing. And that one word, because what he did
maybe in
was
the other book.
he would like he told the people news, like say somebody went out yesterday and didn't come back. Then later on they went and found him and brought him back. Then he would go around and tell people that so and so has been found and brought back to the camp. He's okay. Because everybody be getting up in arms and say, we got to go out and look for him. And that's not their job. Nikapasna or Hisada, they do that. And he tells you the news of something. And during the hunt, the spring and fall buffalo hunt, uh, he says, so and so shot 2 big buffalo bulls, and he's dividing it up, and they honor him. And the best parts usually went to the elders or Wahalinge. They get special cuts off from that, and it's a good read. If you read that Ponca book by Howard, you got to take that with a little grain of salt. But what Grandpa Parrish told him about there, he took his literary license, and that Grandpa Parrish was mad because that's not what he told that man. What's written in that book by Howard, Ponca Tribe. But
So I already told them that book wasn't nothing notable, that we shouldn't even study from it.
no, don't. I'll just keep it for reference because he took the truth and twisted it to fit his narrative. And the best one is to find that book by Hilaska Nikagahi. He wrote some good stuff in there, but man,
I
that
already
book
told
is
them
kind of hard to find.
they're gonna buy them, Grandpa. They're already gonna look for them. He's talking about White Eagle, Grandpa White Eagle, that book. I done gave him a list of Ponca books to get, and that Ponca Tribe was not one of them.
Yeah, don't read that one on Howard. He's like I said, yeah, but
So look at the group eagle. Iye Bahe is one that Diane just found
Yeah.
in the
Okay, that Wajepa is on page 185 in the dictionary. Diane, what page was that other one on? Was it
370.
under was it under
Under,
Town Crier or Herald?
yeah, it was under Town Crier on page 370 of the Ponca Dictionary.
They spell Wajepa with a J. That's why we couldn't find it.
Yeah, that's the only way. Wajepa. Then I heard one Grandpa sound like he said Wajepa, and I was like, damn, maybe it is under. Then I looked under what I know it by, and it was under there.
Okay, so it's the J sound, not J.
Waje, Wajepa. Okay, I seen this before on this. It's EA Baja. I ain't never heard that in our lifetime down here. And then, I never heard that ever. It's always been Wajepa. Fluent speakers everywhere. I ain't never heard them say EA Baha. Have you, Grandpa?
No, I've never heard that.
Not saying it's wrong. I just never heard that.
Well, in the dictionary, it does say archaic.
What does that mean?
Archaic means that it's gone out of use. It's obsolete. It's not. It was something that somebody said in ancient times that they don't say anymore.
It's like we don't talk like Shakespeare anymore.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Okay, because right here by EA Baha, archaic, I see it. And right here it says Wajepa, a town crier or herald, a person in the Osage Nation designated as one to make public announcements. I'm telling you, they lost their language a really long time ago. That's my grandma. Grandpa, that's my grandma Annabelle right there.
Very nice. Good picture. Good job. Very
Isn't it
cool.
my grandma Annabelle? Look on the back of it. I can't see it, Grandpa.
Grandpa has to talk so we can see him.
I can see it, Barbara.
I can't.
You can't either? Weird.
It's like all distorted, and it's mainly his knee.
That's weird. Yeah, I can't see his face, but I could see his little Brady Bunch square.
Got two. We got less than an hour left. Yeah, don't go too far. 13. Where's that at? Add my energy.
This class goes till 2?
Yep.
Yes.
I sent you an email with some questions, Eagle. I don't know if you want to look at it today or another day.
Today's the day.
Hey, Eagle, can we go back to songs real quick? I have a question. What do you do? Let's say, for instance, you're at a powwow or just, whatever dance, and they start singing your family song. What's protocol?
You pay for that song and you stop them. You stop them and then they got to pay for that song.
The family? No, I mean like if it's sang in like respectful way, like an order of respect.
They will never sing your family song unless you call upon it.
Okay, that's what I don't know. Cool. So
Now,
why would you?
one time there was a dance when they honored people and start singing their family songs. Uh, I can't remember why they done that. Maybe just to get them back out there because some of them families they're not traditional or they don't care about them songs and they're not used anymore. And sometimes they're given to the Heloshka to sing in there.
So in what circumstance would it be sung ever?
At a
You know what I mean?
giveaway. I just told what's what we just
Oh,
told you
oh,
earlier. A giveaway.
I'm sorry. I must not have heard that. All right, thanks.
Yeah, at a giveaway. Grandpa, you got anything you want to add to that?
About family songs?
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're only sung on request. Look like for instance, my sister they was singing her dad's song, and she went up there and put a shawl on that drum and made them stop because they was using it as a general war dance song, and she was mad about that. She got up, put her shawl on that drum to make them stop singing that song. Yeah. So they're not sung just any old time. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We will have. We will have Mr. Raymond.
Is
I want
there
to
any,
excuse myself. I need to take a quick break, but I'll be back in 5 minutes.
We're gonna take
Sorry,
a
Robbie.
10-minute break. We're gonna stop
Okay.
recording
okay,
and then we'll start back.
okay.
10-minute break.
All right.
Okay, thank you.